What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another, playoff series breakdown preview that I feel like we have to talk about because I've done a lot of content here on this SROS channel throughout the last week or so on the draft, the combine, etc. And I will get back to, I believe, a mock draft reaction on Monday or Tuesday, depending if I end up getting a Knicks Cavs/Pistons preview because that game is later tonight. It's also like an 8 o'clock Eastern game here tonight. I don't know. It's just Sunday. Like nothing else is going on in terms of the NBA realm. Throw this game at 6 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Eastern time. Why does it have to end past 10? You know what? I guess I can't complain too much, but we already have one series locked in. It's going to start tomorrow night. And this is going to be, I think, at least the most hyped up series on paper of the entire playoffs. Yes, if you get the Knicks Thunder, Knicks versus one of these teams, or Cavs/Pistons against either one of these two teams, it's going to be, I think, an entertaining series. But this one right here, I think not only is a chance of being the best series in this entire playoffs, it actually has a chance of being the best series that we have seen in quite some time because you have two 60-win teams. I don't know off the top of my head, but I don't feel like, or maybe I could find it throughout this video. We don't get this very often. Two 60-win teams here in the playoffs, at least this far in, right? Well, I guess it wouldn't happen this early on because last year, like the Cavs won 64 games. They got bounced to number 2. I think Boston, did they get to 60 last year? They won 56 this year. Yeah, they won 61 games last year. They lost in round number 2. So we actually got both these teams to advance. And this is going to be just an absolute, I don't even know like the words to describe it. We could get an all-timer in this series. So really the only key injury right now, I would say, is the Jalen Williams injury. It looks like he's going to actually be listed out game number 1. It happened back in game 2, I believe, of the Suns series. So we'll see how this much is going to affect Oklahoma City. But this team also just has AJ Mitchell out playing Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who actually won the MVP award today, who was a second-round pick in the 2024 draft. So if there's a team that is suited to lose their third best player right now, it's this Oklahoma City Thunder team. And we've gotten everything, I will say. Like, I'm going to go back and forth between both teams, but we've gotten everything from Wemby here, I would say, in his first 2 playoff series. What has he played? 5, or he played only, I think, 4 games in round 1. He got ejected in round number 2. So he's played around 10 games, a little bit less than that. And I feel like the concussion feels like it was forever ago. He set the block record for an individual game performance in NBA playoff history in his 5th career playoff game. He had that ejection in game, was it 4? The elbow ejection where he doesn't get suspended for game number 5. And he's giving us so many great moments as well. I think he's averaging around 25 points, or no, he might be averaging 20 points, excuse me, in the playoffs. There's 25 points in the regular season, 10 rebounds, 4.1 blocks a night in the playoffs. This is going to be an unreal test for Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein. And I will say Hartenstein's been fine, I would say, in the playoffs, but this is going to be a test unlike anybody else because when you played the Lakers, you're not really going up against the best big man in the world. It's DeAndre Ayton and it's Jackson Hayes. When you went up against the Houston Rock, or excuse me, when I'm talking about the Thunder, when they went up against the Suns, Mark Williams banged up and it's Iguodala, it's nothing too crazy. This is going to be a completely different beast for what the Thunder have to do defensively in this front court, what they're going to have to do on the perimeter. It's such a luxury that the Spurs have just good guard after good guard after good guard, where Stephon Castle has been unreal. He was amazing in round number 2 against the Timberwolves. He averaged 19 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds in his 9 playoff games so far. We've gotten the emergence of Dylan Harper as well, who has been incredible for the Spurs team in round number 2 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. He ended up averaging, 14 points, 6 rebounds. He shot 56% from the field, and he's just 19 years old. Or is he 20 yet, Dylan Harper? No, yeah, he just turned 20 a couple months ago. So he's barely 20 years old, and he looks like a seasoned veteran. There's been so much, I feel dialogue and different hot take ideas here where it's where would Dylan Harper go in this year's draft class? And I don't want to spoil this short entirely, but I collabed with Ryan Hammer, and we talked about this short idea where it's who are your 10 best prospects of the 2020s? And Dylan Harper made both our lists. I don't think people should forget that Dylan Harper was by far the best guard prospect in that draft. I don't think there was ever a thought in my mind where he wasn't the second best prospect in the draft. And I forgot who they played. It was some Big 10 game in December of his college season at Rutgers. And I was I know we still have so much time to go, and Flag ended up reclaiming that number 1 prospect title, but there's a real chance Dylan Harper could be the best prospect in this draft and go number 1 in the NBA draft. That didn't happen. That doesn't mean that Dylan Harper can't be the best player from that draft class. I don't know if it's ever going to happen with this version of the Spurs, because he's not going to be like the alpha like Cooper Flagg is most likely going to be and was this past year in Dallas. Like, he's got to go through De'Aaron Fox under this max contract. He's got to go throughout Stephon Castle, who's maybe like I don't know, so much further along than where I think anybody expected Stephon Castle to be. And I want to say I came out with these takes. It was pretty bad. I thought there was going to be some shooting regression. There was going to be some type of regression offensively with Stephon Castle this year. And I was dead wrong. This man knows how to win. Just like 20 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists in that round number 2 series. And then if they're just going to get some solid 3-point shooting out of Champagnie, Vassell, they both shot like 35-36% from 3. I mean, Stephon Castle shot 48% from 3 on 23 attempts in round number 2. And these guys are going to fly around all over the place. De'Aaron Fox, low-key didn't even play that well throughout the series. He got hurt in game 6, but he came back, I think, after halftime. I mean, he shot 42% from the field. He shot 32% from 3. He averaged 17 points and 5 assists. It is such a luxury, like I said, for San Antonio to have all these different guards that can like just excel at such a high level, where there would be so much scrutiny and so much, I feel like, dialogue around De'Aaron Fox. And maybe we'll get to that when San Antonio loses a playoff series, if that even happens, that, yeah, De'Aaron Fox needed to play better, because yes, I think they get bailed out a little bit that you have Harper and Castle behind them, and maybe this is going to be a really good series here in the conference finals. I mean, Shai just won his second MVP award today. What a last 365 days for Shai, or just 2 seasons, right? You win a scoring title, you win Finals MVP last year, Western Conference Finals MVP last year, 2-time All-Star. He was runner-up to, I think, Jokic and MVP in 2024. He won Clutch Player of the Year this season. If Shai wins another Conference Finals MVP and Finals MVP this year, this is one of the greatest guard peaks we have ever seen. Like, this is going toe-to-toe with 2015 to 2018 Steph Curry. 2015, 2016 were obviously Steph's 2 best years in terms of him, like, reaching the MVP status and winning that award twice. But, like, this is something we never really see. I mean, there's a handful of guys that have ever won back-to-back MVPs. It's actually a little bit more than you think of guys that have done it, because like Giannis did it, Jokic did it, Steph did it. I believe Steve Nash did it, LeBron did it. There's a decent amount in NBA history, but it's still like one of one. And there's not that many guards that have done it in NBA history as well. And I'm just fascinated to see, talk about how good Stephon Castle was defensively. How is he going to go up against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on that end of the floor? And how is he going to guard AJ Mitchell, who dropped 22 points and 6 assists tonight? Now, this is also a completely different beast for OKC, because you're not going up against like Marcus Smart on the perimeter, Rui Hachimura on the perimeter, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, fine defenders, like not complete liabilities, but it's a completely different beast when you also have Wemby anchoring the paint. Shai loves to drive. Shai loves to get downhill, and he loves obviously to get to the free throw line, and he's able to draw contact. How is that going to look when you have Wemby in the paint as well, where he impacts the game so much that doesn't show up on the box score, where it's just guys that are scared and petrified to go at him. And I don't know how that's going to look for Shai going forward. I mean, right now the Thunder are favorites, but this is why people brought up San Antonio as a team that could win it all if they were able to get to the conference finals, because of the head-to-head record. San Antonio ended up winning the head-to-head record 4-1. They handed them one of their first losses this year. It wasn't the first, because I believe that was Portland, but it was that NBA Cup semifinal game back in December. And then San Antonio basically won 3 games in a 2-week stretch. I believe they won on Christmas and right before Christmas as well. And then, yeah, De'Aaron Fox played really well in that Christmas Day game. It was the Thunder's first home loss of the season. Wemby had 19 points, 11 rebounds. It just feels like Wemby, for some reason, I don't know if there is a reason out there, but he just hates Chet Holmgren or loves to go up and compete against Chet. They ended up playing again in January. OKC won this game, and then they ended up playing, I believe, on, it looks like February 5th, and San Antonio won 116-106. Keldon Johnson had 25 points in this game. But that was also a game in which so many guys were out for Oklahoma City, because I just saw that Kenrich Williams had 25 points in this game. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, there's clearly something that happened. So Chet didn't play in that game. J-Dub didn't play in that game. SGA didn't play in that game either. So that one's kind of a wash. But San Antonio was able to beat OKC plenty of times this year, with OKC mainly at full strength. Now, throughout the regular season, J-Dub was never really at full strength, but that's going to be the case here in the playoffs. So this feels like it's the start. I mean, people have been talking about it like the start of two dynasties in the Western Conference in terms of just being a top 3 seed every year. It's going to be the first of multiple times they put each other in the conference finals. I don't know what would be a good comp in the modern day because we've had so much parity with teams. I would say like maybe Boston, Miami, because we saw it a decent amount in the playoffs and a couple times in the conference finals. But like, it felt like Boston was the start of an Eastern Conference dynasty. It always felt like Miami was overachieving. But when you look at the youth on both these teams, it would not shock me that it's the year 2032 and they just are going up against each other for the 4th time in the conference finals. Now, injuries will happen. Teams will have ebbs and flows. There's going to be maybe some drama behind the scenes. You never know. And then maybe like Luka leads the Lakers to a conference finals, or Ant leads Minnesota to a conference finals, or Jokic is back in the mix, right? It's not a foregone conclusion that these two teams are going to play each other every single year. But man, with the modern CBA and how tough it is to bring in stars in free agency, to work around the salary cap, you need to have really good youth. Like with rookie contracts, you need to have like really good contracts outside of those rookie contracts. Both these teams have that right now with obviously AJ Mitchell in Oklahoma City. And then also Julian Champagnie in San Antonio. Both these guys are under well below market deals. I mean, I guess AJ Mitchell's is kind of like a rookie contract still, but that's how Sam Presti is able to work around the just second apron. And maybe San Antonio will have some more issues down the line, right? Because you have De'Aaron Fox making basically $50 million next year. And then the next 4 years, you have Vassell making a lot of money. You have the Wemby extension looming this offseason. That'll kick in 2028. Like eventually Castle and Harper will have to get paid. But these guys are going to be so good for so long. And like OKC, both these teams have so much draft capital to use at their disposal as well. I would say that yeah, OKC still has better draft picks in their possession right now, but San Antonio definitely has some nice draft picks long term. They're about to have the 20th pick in the draft. OKC just having 12 and 17. So yeah, I guess we'll really figure out when J-Dub is going to be back fully in this series. It does suck that he is out for round number 1. I mean, apparently it's not great. It just like says right now that Williams can be considered doubtful for future contests unless the team offers another update on his progress. I believe he's been already ruled out round number 1, but you don't quote me on that. And yeah, I'm just excited to see how these teams, like I haven't even mentioned that Oklahoma City is 8-0 in the playoffs. I'm going to assume that they're going to lose a playoff game here. I don't think they're like, was it the 2018 Warriors that like, maybe I just forgot about it, but I didn't realize it until like the NBA tweeted something out the other day where they were actually 15-0 going into game 4 of the 2018 finals, and they, or 17 finals, maybe, yeah, 2017 finals, because the 2018 was the Rockets game 7, where they, yeah, went 15-0, and then they almost had a perfect playoff run, which is like some 2K level shit. It's insane. So Oklahoma City 8-0. I mean, if they win the series in 5 or 6, they're going to have a dominant record of like 12-1 or 12-2 going to the NBA finals, in which no matter who they go up against, as long as they're healthy, they're going to be the favorites in that series. Like if they're favorites against San Antonio, they're going to be favorites against New York, Detroit, or Cleveland at the moment. I mean, OKC does not like to turn the ball over. They pride themselves on also like disrupting. Like nobody likes to turn the ball over, but they're pretty good with not turning the ball over as well. They're able to get out and transition off of turnovers. San Antonio has kind of neutralized that edge a little bit too, where I do feel like they don't have like the really dumb turnovers that we saw maybe sometimes in that Minnesota series on the other end with that team. It's just like, how are you going to defend Wemby? And I think you let Wemby get his stuff, right? But like, San Antonio has proven that they can let other guys beat you. It doesn't have to be Wemby, but I think I would leave it up to De'Aaron Fox. You're going to try to put all your attention on Wemby. You even think about doubling him. And then maybe you hope that there's some shooting regression for San Antonio, where Stephon Castle doesn't shoot 48% from 3 in the conference finals, and it's okay to leave him semi-open in the corner if you're going to try to neutralize Wemby down low. I think what San Antonio did great throughout the regular season against Oklahoma City is they would get Wemby the ball at kind of like the top of the free throw line, around that area, at the elbows, and they would double team like immediately, which, hey, that makes a ton of sense. We saw teams benefit from that throughout the regular season, like Phoenix on Wemby. But these guys are so athletic on the perimeter: a Champagnie, a Fox, a Castle, a Vassell, Fox, Castle, yeah, like Keldon Johnson. They can attack these closeouts so well. They're going to use their second burst. They're going to get downhill and finish at the rim. And then you already kind of had the main rim protector, either Hartenstein or Chet Holmgren, kind of out on Wemby. And you always have to have like one eye on Wemby. And hey, if they're going to try to play help defense and attack Stephon Castle driving towards the rim, he's been so like polished at getting the ball to Wemby, where he now had his defender leave him to go contest Castle at the rim. So this series, I hope, lives up to the hype, where you do have two 60-win teams, where I believe San Antonio was second this year in net rating. They finished the season, let's see, third in defensive rating, second in net rating. OKC was number 1 in net rating. So you have, these are the two best teams in the NBA. Oh my God, I'm excited. I would love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this series in the comments. I would love to know your predictions. I'm going to assume that most people will have OKC winning this, just because it's wild too that like J-Dub is hurt, and even when he comes back, he still might not be 100%, but you still think OKC can beat a 100% healthy Spurs roster. That just goes to show you how good this OKC team is. That just goes to show you how good AJ Mitchell's been in the playoffs, and also Chet Holmgren. He's been incredible for the Thunder in the playoffs, and I think he's kind of shown that this is the second best player on the Thunder. Kind of always was, in my opinion. Like, I get what J-Dub did last playoff run was incredible, but I just think what Chet can do defensively is, it just goes just like, it does not show up in the box score. His help defense on the perimeter, he's able to move so well at his size. He's obviously a great shot blocker. Dude shot 38% from 3, 60% from the field in round number 2 against the Lakers. Will Jared McCain be this spark plug off the bench for them? We'll see. And like Cason Wallace didn't really even shoot. I don't know, he did shoot well in round number 2, but like Wallace, Caruso, and Dort, these guys are volatile shooters. I think it really just depends what type of shooting you're going to get from those or that trio. Even like AJ Mitchell, not a great three-point shooter either. I mean, Shea hasn't shot the 3 ball to his standards, you could say, or he did in round number 2. Like Shea with the 57% true shooting percentage in round number 2. If you would have told me that before the Lakers series, I'd been like, wow, Lakers took a game or two. No, they still got swept. And the Lakers, I thought, played OKC really well for definitely the talent disparity between the two rosters. So yeah, I'm super excited for this series. It's going to be nice to enjoy this series as a neutral fan, as my heart is going to be racing for all 48 minutes in the Knicks playoff series. I also don't know how I feel about the Knicks getting 9 days rest. Yeah, it's good for OG. We'll see about the offensive rhythm. If you guys did enjoy this video and you want to see me do this with the Knicks and whoever they play, let me know. Maybe drop a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments as well. Like I said, let me know your predictions in the comments. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.